Watching the 1963 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hold on, you! It's ready to the rescue!
We will return in a moment to the Rough and Ready Show.
Are we a dog and a cat? Of course we are.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Rough and Ready Show.
Dangerous? Now he tells us.
On the 1963 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Howdy do, folks.
We will return in a moment to the Huckleberry Hound Show. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Huckleberry Hound Show.
John, Rockford again.
On the 1963 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hi there, Boo-Boo. Little bear type buddy.
We will return in a moment to the Yogi Bear Show.
I just gotta get some food in my shrunken stomach.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Yogi Bear Show.
Look, Boo, they're ready to put on a show.
On the 1963 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Top Cat. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Top Cat.
The meeting will now start with the calling of the roll.
On the 1963 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
How much you got, Gorilla, in the window?
We will return in a moment to the Magilla Gorilla Show.
Oh, Mr. People, it's TV snack time.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Magilla Gorilla Show.
Hello, Mr. People. Magilla!
On the 1964 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Dad, race! Over here!
We will return in a moment to the adventures of Johnny Quest.
We gotta do something, Hodge. They've got Dad and Race.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the adventures of Johnny Quest.
Jolly good show, Master Haji. Thank you very much, Johnny.
On the 1964 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hello there, partner.
We will return in a moment to Quick Draw McGraw
Come on!
Hey, watch it, will you, Quick Straw?
on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Quick Draw McGraw
I think he's overdoing it for so.
on the 1964 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
That's all, folks.
We will return in a moment to the Porky Pig Show
Now you'll have to excuse me. I have a great deal to do today. Good day, sir.
on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Porky Pig Show
It's the sit on that egg.
on the 1964 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Of an atom, it's adamant, and his atomic power.
We will return in a moment to the Adamant Show on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Adamant Show on the 1965 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Let's go, Morocco. Right, Secret.
We will return in a moment to the Secret Squirrel Show
Nice work, Morocco. We're right on target.
on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Secret Squirrel Show
It's all very suspiciously suspicious.
on the 1965 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Tom and Jerry Show
You ever down in Texas?
on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Tom and Jerry Show on the 1965 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Jetsons
Help! Help, Jim! Stop this crazy thing, will you?
on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Jetsons
Yak, 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 yak. Jetson!
on the 1965 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. return in a moment to Space Ghost.
Jason's in trouble on Jupiter.
I'll pick you up in 3 minutes.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Space Ghost.
Boy, are we glad to see you.
On the 1966 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Peter Potamus Show.
Now we really must shove off. Come on, So-So.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Peter Potamus Show.
Let's go first, Bill.
And on.
On the 1966 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Nobody fools around with Frankenstein Jr.
We will return in a moment to Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossible.
The Impossibles are ready to do the impossible, Chief.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossible.
Junior, did it again.
On the 1966 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
We will return in a moment to the Roadrunner Show. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Roadrunner Show. On the 1966 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Bugs Bunny Show.
Talk on, you old mean wabbit.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Bugs Bunny Show.
What's up, Doc?
On the 1967 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Moby Dick and Mighty Mightor. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Moby Dick and Mighty Mightor. On the 1967 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
I'll put a stop to that.
We will return in a moment to Birdman and the Galaxy Trio. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Birdman and the Galaxy Trio.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go!
On the 1967 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
moment to Shazam.
Thanks, Shazam!
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Shazam.
Well, 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 young masters.
On the 1968 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
And away they go!
We will return in a moment to Wacky Races.
That sneaky shortcut put us way out in front. Right, McLean?
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Wacky Races.
Drat!
On the 1968 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
The banana split!
We will return in a moment to the Banana Splits.
I want to volunteer to step forward.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Banana Splits.
Let's get on with the club business.
On the 1968 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
It's clobbering time.
We'll return in a moment to Fantastic Four.
You must be destroyed. How many times have we heard that speech?
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Fantastic Four.
It's clobbering time.
On the 1968 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
I'll get you, Penelope Pit Stop.
We will return in a moment to the perils of Penelope Pitstop.
Farewell forever, Penelope Pit Stop.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the perils of Penelope Pitstop.
What a pickle to be in!
On the 1969 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
There they are, Doc.
We will return in a moment to the Herculoids.
I'll call Sandor.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Herculoids.
It sounds like trouble. Faster, Doc.
On the 1969 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Dastardly and Muttley in their flying machine.
Keep a sharp lookout for that pigeon, McLean.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Dastardly and Muttley in their flying machine. On the 1970 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. moment to the Flintstones. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Flintstones.
Uh-oh, here they come.
On the 1970 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Josie and the Pussycats are really hot today.
We will return in a moment to Josie and the Pussycats.
All right, group. The minute we stop, everybody out and we'll make a break for it.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Josie and the Pussycats.
Man, dig that swinging sound.
On the 1970 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Return in a moment to Where's Huddles.
Get through, Huddles. Never stood a chance. It's brains over brawn every time.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Where's Huddles.
Huddles is still going.
On the 1970 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. To the Funky Phantom. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Funky Phantom.
I'll give them what for? What 5 even?
On the 1971 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
I got him. I got him.
We will return in a moment to Help! It's the Hair Bear Bunch.
Hair Bear has just come up with another brilliant idea.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Help! It's the Hair Bear Bunch.
Here, you're all brains.
On the 1971 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Yabba dabba doozy!
We will return in a moment to Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, just leave everything to me.
Oh, boy. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Back to Pebbles and Bam Bam.
I hate to say I told you so.
On the 1971 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Dad, race! Over here!
We will return in a moment to the adventures of Johnny Quest.
We gotta do something, Hodge. They've got Dad and Race.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Quest.
Jolly good show, Master Hodgie. Thank you very much, Johnny.
On the 1971 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
We're lost, and we're trying to find our way home.
return in a moment to Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space.
I hope a good rock number shakes them out of this.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space.
We have to get back home, to Earth.
On the 1972 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Welcome to Rome, Claudius.
We will return in a moment to the Roman holidays.
Holy Horatio, all this traffic. If this is progress, they can keep it.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Roman holidays.
Brutus, cut it out.
On the 1972 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Bam, bam, we're in a jam.
We will return in a moment to the amazing Chan and the Chan Clan.
Won't the rest of the kids be surprised when they hear what we've done?
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the amazing Chan and the Chan Clan.
Got him!
Naturally.
On the 1972 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
But if we find the radiation, we could save C-Lab.
We will return in a moment to C-Lab 2020.
It's them! It's the kids!
Move in fast, Hal.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to C-Lab 2020.
This is fun!
On the 1972 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids reporting, sir.
We'll return in a moment to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids.
After them! Faster, Wally!
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids.
Sundance 1 reporting in, Mr. Socrates.
On the 1973 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
It's Yogi's Gang!
Return in a moment to Yogi's Gang.
We messed it up, and we can clean it up.
Hooray! Let's do it! On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Yogi's Gang.
Last one there is a hungry bear.
On the 1973 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
That's me.
We'll return in a moment to Speed Buggy.
Relax. You leave the driving to me.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Speed Buggy. On the 1973 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
The master detective who never slips up.
Return in a moment to Inch High, Private Eye.
Sure. The butler did it. How corny can you get?
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Inch High, Private Eye.
I wouldn't leave here if I were you.
On the 1973 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
We will return in a moment to Hong Kong Phooey.
I don't know what I'm saying, but it sure sounds good.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Hong Kong Phooey.
It's so nice to be recognized and loved.
On the 1974 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Valley of the Dinosaurs.
I think we spotted a trail out of here.
Wow, fantastic, Dad.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Valley of the Dinosaurs.
I'm not scared of that noisy lizard.
On the 1974 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
What's going on?
We better find out.
We'll return in a moment to the new Scooby-Doo movie.
For the first time in a lifetime career of overeating, I think I'm getting a bellyache.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the new Scooby-Doo movie.
I'm getting more confused every minute.
On the 1974 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the new Scooby-Doo movie.
See the amazing Shaggy, part man, part chicken.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Back to the new Scooby-Doo movie.
Well, study show I'm for that. Let's go.
On the 1974 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Jetsons.
Help! Help, Jim! Stop this crazy thing, will you?
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Jetsons.
Yak. Jetson!
On the 1975 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to the Great Grape Ape Show.
I know. I'm sorry.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to the Great Grape Ape Show.
Grape Ape? Yep, that's me.
On the 1975 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch.
I'm gonna stop that wheelie if it's the last thing I do.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch. on the 1975 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network. We will return in a moment to Devlin. On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Devlin. On the 1975 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
This is a job for all the Super Friends.
We will return in a moment to Super Friends.
Of all the dirty lowdown.
In time, I know we'll get to the bottom of this.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Come back to Super Friends.
Well, Super Friends, we certainly have our work cut out for us.
On the 1976 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
And the roughest, toughest white shark ever.
We will return in a moment to Jabberjaw.
Wowie, wow, wow, wow. That's my Jabber. He's a hero.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Jabberjaw.
Here's for me.
On the 1976 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Clue Club's on the scene.
You better believe it, boy.
We will return in a moment to Clue Club.
Dig in, boy. Them claws ain't only for scratching yourself.
On Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Welcome back to Clue Club.
You stick with me and you'll really learn this bloodhound business.
On the 1976 edition of Boomerang from Cartoon Network.